want to talk a little fantasy football. Flip this around. I don't know if that's going to change anything. Hopefully not. Fantasy football 2020. Talk a little Josh Jacobs, Dalvin Cook. I'll rotate the device back. Guess it's locked in. Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs, and Ezekiel Elliott, I think, will be the topics for tonight. So we'll strictly stay with, I think, those three players, and then we'll do a little Q&A in between. But try your very, very best to keep on course with that, and we'll mix in maybe some trades involving those players, or hey, do you think this player might be better than Cook or whatever? So try and keep it on topic tonight. I'm going to try and focus on, can you guys hear me okay through my ear pods, or do I sound like I'm far away and my phone audio is picking up my audio, or do I sound like I'm right up against the mic? If I sound right up against the mic, it's definitely coming out of here, but let me know. Sergio in the house. Watkins, what's up? Xander in the house. What's up, everybody? Let me know on the audio thing. Do I sound like I'm talking right up against the mic? Cook texted me. He said he wasn't going to get hurt, says Christopher. Well, Christopher, we hope you're correct. Dalvin Cook, I'm leaning toward trying to influence my community, you guys, my followers, my soldiers, to vote for. What's up, Big Jim? Glad to see you, man. Trying to convince you guys to probably lean in the direction of Dalvin Cook. Now, the more that I think about it, the more that I break it down, context is very important when it comes to making fantasy football decisions. And even though I have been on record recently, as of like a week and a half ago maybe, saying that Dalvin Cook is kind of a risky. Hey, no one answered my audio question. Do I sound like I'm right up against my mic? Like then I know my ear pods are working. If it sounds far away, it might be coming from my phone and my pods might not be picking it up. I don't know. So about a week and a half ago, I said that drafting Dalvin Cook in the top 6 could be too risky at this point. Maybe drop him not too far. I don't think I said anything crazy. I do so many videos and lives. Sometimes I do change directions, and then maybe if I don't explain it in a video update, what's up, James? I get people saying, Smitty, you said something else like 2 weeks ago. Well, it's ever evolving. And when you create as much content as I do, like on the daily, you're going live. On the daily, you're getting asked questions. Things evolve, and I don't have time. Why are we in the library? Because you're in trouble, Noah. You're in trouble. I don't have time to update everybody on when my thought process changes. Now, my thought process hasn't really changed in terms of Dalvin Cook being risky at top 5, top 6, but context matters. And the context in the Throne League, and if you don't know what the Throne League is, it starts this Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 12 expert fantasy football pages and teams controlled by their community, meaning I'm one of those 12 fantasy football experts, and you guys are going to draft my team for me. It's a slow draft, a really, really slow draft. 6 to 8 hour timer off at night. Timer's off at night. And when on the clock, we don't pick right away. We go to our following. We do lives like this on YouTube, IG, get into our Discord chat. So jump into my Discord, go to sleeperu.com/Discord. James with the super chat. Appreciate the Twitch stream the other day. You know what, James? We're going to go live on Twitch after this. We're going to go live. Why not? Why not, James? I'm going to go live on Twitch right after this. Do I do it out on the street though again, or do I do it in the library? Where was I? Thank you for the super chat, buddy. I think that context matters. So in the case of the Throne League, I was explaining the Throne League. So the Throne League, when I'm on the clock, we got the number 6 pick in the Throne League. There's 12 teams, 12 expert communities. So I'm one, Fantasy Couch is one. We got a lot of awesome Instagram and YouTube pages. So there's 12 of us total. There's not a ton of teams. It's 12 teams. When our team is on the clock, I go live. I go to the Discord, sleeperu.com/Discord. I go to my Instagram posts. I go to the stories. I do lives everywhere. I collect the vote. I might rotate and do YouTube gets round 2, Instagram gets round 1. Discord gets round 3. I haven't figured it all out yet. But when we're on the clock, you decide who we pick. You vote on it. I go no matter what with the vote. I'm not going to overrule my community. My community knows what they're doing. And last year we got hit with injuries. 6 to 8 hour timer per pick. Correct. And why not? We got a lot of time, bro. And that's the fun of it. We go to our communities. We don't always need that amount of time. I picked in like an hour and a half on average when it came up during the day because we knew what we want. We didn't need to drag it out. And sometimes there's drama in going 10 minutes, boom. We know what we're doing. We know what we want. Boom, Dalvin Cook. You know, that kind of thing can be funny and actually fun entertainment. But ultimately, what I'm saying here is that Dalvin Cook, even though he is risky for a 6 overall pick, context matters. And the context of the Throne League is that a lot of people in this league are very running back hungry. I got to go get my charger. Hold on, I'll bring it with me. They're running back hungry, and they're going to scoop up all the running backs very quickly in this draft. And so if we do go, even if Mike Thomas falls to us, let's say, let me get that thing charger. Even if Mike Thomas falls to us, let's say, at 6, and he could, because again, it's very running back heavy. There's a really good shot that in round 2, we don't like any of the options that we got at running back, and we're going to be pretty darn disappointed with our team. Whereas if I think we go Dalvin Cook instead of Mike Thomas, even if Mike Thomas was there, and I know a lot of people, that's going to be hard for a lot of people to accept, that you would actually pass on Mike Thomas at number 6. I get the reason why that sounds crazy. But when you think about what we end up with in the end, Dalvin Cook and Godwin, and because it's running back heavy, those wide receivers are going to fall. Or Dalvin Cook, Lamar, Dalvin Cook, Mahomes. Our community is more pro quarterback than most communities. So it wouldn't surprise me if you guys wanted to go, Patty Mahomes. Oh, jeez. My bad. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys wanted to go Patty Mahomes or Lamar, and I wouldn't fight it. I really wouldn't. But in a running back heavy league, a group of people that draft really heavy at running back, I think maybe not a great shot because all it takes is one, but I think maybe one of Lamar or Mahomes could be there for us at pick 6 in the 3rd round at 3.6, but not likely. But I still love that these quarterbacks will fall in this league. We could get Kyler Murray at 5.6. We could get Deshaun Watson maybe in the 6th round. We could get Brady or A-Rod or Breeze or a combination of those two guys in the 10th and 11th round. But I'm okay taking Mahomes because, again, I've explained this over and over that it's not about Mahomes and Lamar are kind of close to QB5 and QB6, whatever. The argument is never about that comparison. The argument is Mahomes and the wide receiver or running back that you take in the deep later rounds where someone's taking their QB and you compare the apples to apples. So if we take, I don't know, somebody takes, trying to think of a quarterback, Russell Wilson in round 5, and they take Godwin or Evans in round 2, you've got to compare the wide receiver or running back you get. Let's use a running back, Mixon and Russell Wilson. Let's say you go that. Then you got to compare. You can't just compare Russell Wilson, how close he is, how late you get him. You compare Russell Wilson and the running back Mixon versus Ingram in round 5 or whatever, wherever you're getting Russell Wilson and Mahomes. I'd rather have myself. I'm not a big Mixon guy, but you have to compare the apples to apples. So if you hate Mahomes, if you think Mahomes will not score 50 TDs, then why on earth would you take him? Because Russell Wilson's going to score 35 total. And if Mahomes only scores 40, yeah, then why would you make that move? But if Mahomes is going to score 50 It's a whole different conversation. Matthew, the Mahomes magic can't continue for the better part of 2 decades. It's just not possible. Trends have been made to be broken, my man. Lamar over Mahomes, says James. Mahomes is the GOAT. Man, I love him, says Sand. How many days, weeks, months is the whole draft going to be? Probably about 3 weeks, I would guess, but it could be a month. Rank Cup, Thielen, and Cooper and Juju. I would say, as much as I doubt Cooper, I think I rate him Juju, Cooper, then Cup. Cooper Cup. Juju, Amari Cooper, then Cooper Cup. Where was I here? This is just like the stock market. If you get sucked in to the names, you will lose out on an overpay. It's true, Matthew. You can. I don't know that Mahomes qualifies for that in my book, but I do believe you're correct in every facet of fantasy football. The question is, are you overpaying? And that's the debate. You can have that debate with anybody, and I respect your stance on it. If you say that Mahomes and Lamar will fall back down to earth, they won't keep it up. And I'm not even sure if that's what your stance was, but that doesn't mean that's whatever how everybody else feels. You're assuming other people believe what you believe, if that's what you believe, that Mahomes will drop off, and I don't believe that. So we're having a totally different conversation, and you're thinking we're both thinking the same thing, and we're not. Like, it's hard for me to have a conversation with someone about drafting Mahomes early. And early to me, the second round's not even early. it's a steal to me, to be honest with you. But at 18, for someone to say that 18 is too high for Mahomes, it's hard for me to even have that conversation with somebody, because what they say to me isn't, they act like they assume that I think the same way about it as them, and I don't. So we're not even in the right place to have the conversation or the debate. So, you know, you're getting the guy that will produce the most points in fantasy in Mahomes. I agree. That's why I think that Mahomes and Dalvin Cook could be the secret sauce to winning the fantasy football throne. But I also go back and forth on the idea of Murray. Like, imagine this team, right? Imagine this team. Dalvin Cook, Chris Godwin, or Evans, insert whoever you want. In round 3, let's say AJ Brown falls there, or Kelsey or Kittle. I don't know when you think could fall. Kelsey or Kittle could fall to 3-6, believe me, especially in a running back heavy league. So let's do that one. Dalvin Cook, Chris Godwin, Travis Kelsey, DK Metcalf, or AJ Brown, or whoever falls in that pick, Melvin Gordon in round 4, and Kyler Murray. That would be absolute fire. Kyler Murray, Dalvin Cook, Melvin Gordon, Chris Godwin, or Kyler Murray, Dalvin Cook, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Chris Godwin, or Kyler Murray, Dalvin Cook, AJ Brown, and Chris Godwin. I'd freaking love that team. Or insert Watson instead of Kyler Murray if Kyler goes. I also think absolute fire start, win the league type team. Like, I'm ear to ear grin, so proud of my fantasy football throne community, the fantasy football show community in the throne, if we walk away with this team. Dalvin Cook at quarterback. I'm sorry, running back. Dalvin Cook, Chris Godwin. I'm sorry, Dalvin Cook, Mahomes, and like Kelsey. Or Dalvin Cook, Mahomes, and Kittle. Or Dalvin Cook, Mahomes, and A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf somehow. I don't know that DK in this league will fall to the 4th round, but that would be absolutely phenomenal. All right, Matthew, I saw your big old long question. The problem is, I'm going to stop you right there, because there is no problem. It's perspective. I can already tell. The problem is, you need Mahomes to be amazing, and you also need to. That's the thing. I don't need him to be amazing. I need him to. This is the way I look at Mahomes, bro. Mahomes is 40 TDs crapping the bed, diarrhea all over the place. Mahomes shits his pants, shits the bed, completely drops the ball on you. 40 TDs. That's Mahomes dropping the ball. That's Mahomes disappointing you. 40 TDs. A 40 TD quarterback, in retrospect, when you reverse engineer your fantasy football draft and the values and what impact that player had, he's 80 to 120 points more than any other quarterback, depending on your scoring. Even if he scores just 42 TDs, let's say, 40 passing, 2 running, that's your floor. Your floor. If he craps the bed, he earns you even value of pick 18, 20, whatever you took. Even value. Even value. You're not exploding from his ADP. You're getting your value back. Essentially, Mahomes is a guarantee floor of exactly what you're drafting and paying. And that's the definition of a breakout player for your team, or a difference maker, maximizing your value type grab in fantasy football. Because if he drops 50 TDs, which he is capable of doing, and if you don't think so, again, we're starting from the wrong angle. We can't. It's like you're on the outside of the stadium, I'm on the inside, and we're arguing about something that we're seeing completely different. And if he's capable of 50 passing TDs, which he for sure is capable of, he wins you your league. If he craps the bed, he earns his value back. There's really, in my opinion, no argument against that, other than you're just a better drafter going QB late for your drafting style. And Matthew, that's kind of and I'm not trying to go out. I'm just trying to explain my perspective. And I've been doing this professionally for 16 years. So I've had this debate for 16 straight years. And no offense to you, Matthew, you're my guy. Not coming at you at all. I'm just kind of attacking the question. Is for 16 straight years, it's annoying in a way. Not you, that I get that approach. Like, but let me tell you why, Smitty. Like, I haven't thought of it for 16 years, or mulled on it, stewed on it, done the research, re-engineered my drafts, figured things back out. Um, so I'm not going at you about this. I'm just merely saying it is funny the approach people have when they go, but what you're not thinking about, Smitty, is that quarterbacks are all really close between 6 and 10 or whatever. And that's fine. But my quarterback, Lamar or Mahomes, I am predicting is 100 to 150 points ahead of every other quarterback. And a guy invented the X Factor drafting back when a lot of you were in diapers. And what an X Factor fantasy football drafting perspective is you take the last starter in your league. So in a case of quarterbacks, the 12th quarterback in a 12-team league is the last possible starter in a fantasy football league, number 12. You take the guy you're considering taking, so the number 1 quarterback, Pat Mahomes, and you figure out how many more points he would score than the last possible starter at that position in your league, so the 12th. And you come up with that number called the X Factor. And so Mahomes outscores the 12th highest scoring quarterback by 210 points or whatever. Then you go you find that number for all the quarterbacks. Then you go to running back. You find out what Mixon, what Drake, what Josh Jacobs, all these guys. If you're in a flex league, you got to use. So if you're in a 12-team league, you start 2 running backs in a flex, then you got to go on the average. 6 owners might start a running back at their flex, 6 might start a wide receiver. So then you have 12 starting running back ones, 12 starting running back twos. That's 24 plus 6 more through the average. That's 30. So what does Mixon? How many points does Mixon outscore the 30th ranked running back? How many points does Godwin outscore in the same scenario, 2 wide receivers in a flex, the 30th ranked wide receiver? If you're going to go 3 wide receivers in a flex, then it gets even deeper. That X factor tells you that Mahomes, if he scores 50 TDs, will clobber the quarterback position in that kind of thinking. And if you think back to the New England Randy Moss days, Randy Moss had an X factor through the roof above every other player. And Randy Moss was warranted to be the number one overall pick because he dominated the last starter at his position by that much. And that's why tight ends are so valuable, because you look at Kelsey and Kittle and you say, how many points are Kelsey and Kittle going to outscore the 12th, the last starting tight end in my league? And the answer is by a freaking boatload. That's why some people do draft Kelsey and Kittle in the first round. They shouldn't, because the ADP of both is in the second round, sometimes top of the third. Same thing with Mahomes. I forget who it was, but they drafted Mahomes in the first round. They came to me the other day and they're like, "Hey, Smitty, I'm trusting you. You better be right." I took Mahomes at number 6 overall, and I'm like, "What are you doing? I didn't tell you that. Don't associate me to that. Don't put me in that boat with you." ADP dictates that Mahomes is a mid to late second round pick. You got to stick to that. You have to, or you're not maximizing value. I'm trying to get to these comments. Sorry, guys. When I go on a rant, I can't really. Smitty, where did you place last year in the throne? So we missed the playoffs, but guys, I'd take my team, our team, into war. We would win if we could keep the same team. They'd be crapping their pants facing us. We had a team you could not draft again. You couldn't replicate the team that we had. We had Mahomes get hurt. We had Kamara get hurt. We got struck by injury bad. And I'm not ashamed of that team at all. We had Patrick Mahomes, Zeke Elliott, Alvin Kamara. We took Holmes in the third, Cook in the second, traded Cook after he tore up, all year long. He was amazing. Traded Cook for Elliott, and then we got Ertz in that. So our team we only did that one trade, I think. But it was Mahomes, Zeke Elliott, Alvin Kamara, then he got hurt, then Mahomes got hurt, Robert Woods, and Zach Ertz. We would tear it up in 2020 if we had that team. I'm not ashamed of the throne team that we had at all. We would have balled out in 2020. Average draft position for Kittle is 28.5, so I think we could get him close to our 3.6. We really could. Matthew, I'm trying to read your comments. Even Rodgers in his prime wasn't doing what Mahomes is doing. I'm just a little bit scared that he could be sketchy, and I'm not long-term thing. I couldn't disagree more with that, but dude, trust your gut. Matthew, I'm wrong about certain things every year. That could be one. But I don't think so on Mahomes. Mahomes a decade from now on, from here on out, a decade-long, potential number one scorer every year for over a decade. And in Dynasty, he's worth, in my opinion, and I probably wouldn't take him here, bro, but I wouldn't be afraid to take him at the turn into the second round, from the first round to the second round. If I had the 2.1 and the 1.12, Matthew, in a Dynasty startup, when it's even more important, when Mahomes has more value, Matthew, because he's going to be with you for over a decade, scoring the number one overall type of points. Maybe he has years where he doesn't. He kind of goes like that. A lot of players do. But there have been players, too, that are always up there. Kurt Warner, Tomlinson, Priest Holmes. It wasn't always like this for every player. There are special players, and Mahomes is special. And if you, Matthew, can have him at 2.1, a lot of people are going to say that that's early. What's up, Jose? Jose is a special member of the YouTube membership platform that we rolled out on the Fantasy Football Show, that I rolled out. I'm just a one-man band. I don't know why I say we sometimes. I rolled out on the Fantasy Football Show. So, Jose, I don't have a sound for you, but I definitely appreciate you. And if you have a question, throw it up there. Throw it up there, Jose, and I'll answer it. But Hey, Smitty, I'm in a 10-team league dynasty startup. Who would you be targeting at the 1.9 and 2.2? So exactly what I'm talking about here, Mahomes. I would target Mahomes at 2.2. I absolutely would because he's going to be with you for a decade. So in the case of like other players like Mike Evans, Julio, Godwin, they're not going to be there for a decade. So I really strongly in dynasty formats urge people to give Mahomes a second look. Who's the most important weapon to Mahomes, continuing his reign? I think Hill's important, but he can be replaced with Mecole Hardman if need be. Now Mahomes would take a slight dip. Um, Clyde Edwards-Helaire will eventually grab a hold of that. I firmly believe because he's going to lean on him. He's going to pass to him. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to catch 65 passes a year in that offense. I firmly believe he will be the glue to Patrick Mahomes, and owning both of them is going to be unreal in fantasy. I if I had the 2.1, I would strongly consider going Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Mahomes at 1.12 and 2.1, and I would be called crazy. I would be called absolutely insane. What's up, Jake? Patty is long term great. I think defenses will catch up to Lamar. That's from Jake. I think that could be the case, Jake. I think more so worry about Lamar being long term, Matthew, than Mahomes. Mahomes is he's Mahomey, bro. He's the real deal. Let's talk Montgomery. Okay, and we're supposed to talk Zeke, Dalvin Cook, and Josh Jacobs too, because that was the point of the whole live, and I've gone off track myself. Defending Mahomes. Defending Mahomes. You sent another trade question mark. I don't know what that means, Kyle. Maybe you're talking to somebody else. Montgomery. So Montgomery is a tough player to rank right now, and I've got to tell you, Noah says Jacobs and Drake over Chubb. They're all really close, bro. I mean, I'm not trying to like dodge that question, but Chubb has more risk, but he has probably maybe the most upside because he's in Stefanski's offense, who just produced, what we saw with Dalvin Cook. Like that's Stefanski. Stefanski did that. I'm not scared of Hunt. I need Hunt if I'm drafting Chubb because I need to cuff the two together because Chubb could get hurt, not get replaced, get hurt. That's why I worry about it. That's why Hunt is the most important handcuff in the NFL because he is as good. You're not worried about Jacobs' lack of receptions. No, I'm not, bro. No, I'm not, because Oakland's made it very clear that they did that on purpose by design. We're not going to get him involved in the passing game in year one. We're going to do it in year two. They've said that. That's enough for me, and I know Gruden will involve him in the passing game. Jacobs will have double or triple his reception totals for 2020. He could flirt with 45, 50 catches in 2020. Jacobs, and if he doesn't, Jacobs, so we're talking about Jacobs, so let's do that. If he doesn't catch 45, 50 passes, Jacobs, like I predict he will, he earns you back your 12 overall value. That's where you're taking Jacobs right now. And people are like up in arms about it a couple weeks ago, even a month ago. Oh, you're taking Jacobs at number 12. Oh my God. Now we're talking about Jacobs at 8, 7, 9, and even at 9 or 10 or 8. That's his floor, I believe. Even if he doesn't get the uptick in receptions, Jacobs has still got a floor higher than any other running back. His floor is so close to his ceiling, it's a very small range. And while his upside's limited, because if he's ranked 7 or 8 or 9 as a floor and his ceiling's 5, I don't think he's going to get higher than top 5. 5 to 8, it's like he's bouncing in this little range, safe as can be. I love Jacobs. Jacobs, to answer the earlier question, Chubb, Jacobs, Drake. Drake could bust on you. Drake could be top 5. Drake could be probably, I'd say Drake has more ceiling than Jacobs. I think Drake could be top 4 to 5. Drake could be 3 at times. Not finish maybe 3, but he could dance around there all year. Or he could be like out of the league. Like Drake has that kind of polar opposite, directions he could go in. But Jacobs feels locked and loaded in that really fine, closely tight floor and ceiling range. Chubb injury could take him out. Jacobs feels safer. Jacobs feels safest, but Drake feels like Drake and Chubb feel like they have equal kind of upside and risk. So if that answers your question, but Jacobs to me is going to get a ton of work. And Noah says if Jacobs doesn't get more receptions, then he's not very safe. But that's the thing. I just explained it, Noah. If he doesn't get more receptions, he still earns you top 12 overall value. Like that's my whole point. I mean, totally feel free to have your own opinion, bro. I'm not trying to say you're wrong necessarily. I guess I am. I respect your opinion, Noah. I respect it. But my whole point, what I just got through saying, is that if he doesn't get more receptions, he still earns you top 12 overall value. He's a volume guy. He's going to get you 1,200 to 1,400 rushing yards. He's going to get you 12 TDs on the ground, 10 TDs on the ground, 12 TDs total. And that's top 12 overall value. Like, that's the safest kind of player I can imagine. If he doesn't pick up any more PPR work, Noah, he earns you your value back. And if he gets 55 receptions, top 5 running back, like, explain to me how that's not safe. No question, Drake has the higher upside. We know he will get what we'll get with Jacobs. I think Drake and Edmonds are a must. If Eno Benjamin creeps up into that backup role, or Edmonds can't stay healthy, maybe Edmonds gets hurt, then I definitely think that Benjamin needs to be grabbed immediately. And in deep ass leagues where you can roster retired players, just grab Benjamin. Like, what are you doing? Roster all three. Who cares about a sixth wide receiver or seventh wide receiver? Lock down your top 5 running back numbers that Cardinals will probably produce by getting Drake, Benjamin, and Edmonds. And I'm not recommending that in a small league. So don't go in a league with 8 bench spots or 5 bench spots. Go scooping up all 3. I'm not saying that at all. Perspective, context matters. Context matters. If the Raiders wouldn't take Jacobs out every 2 plays, but they explain that, Noah. I get your fear. It makes sense. What you're talking about is logical fear, logical concern. So it's more a matter at this point, Noah, whether you trust Oakland or not. If you don't trust that they're going to do what they said, which is give Jacobs more receptions, then you're still getting what I think to be a floor value of 12. And so I still say take him, but I don't know. I don't like Mixon, and there's a lot of upside with Mixon. As much as there's a lot of risk and red flags as well, but there's tons of upside with Mixon. He's got the talent, and I can't go near him. And I might be wrong on that, Noah. So if I'm trying to give you intel, Blake says, I'm trying to give you intel. You see it or nah? I don't know what you mean, Jacobs, but I don't like the Raiders' offense much. I hear you, but they're making changes, man. They added a lot of weapons. The Raiders are notorious for not looking the way that they look right now. I don't like Carr. I wish they would do something different at quarterback. But past that, a lot of people do like him. But past that, I feel like the Raiders aren't a kind of team that would go get Ruggs, go get additional wide receiver help. They have a lot of good wide receivers on the roster. They got that Lynn Bowden or whatever the heck that guy's name is. That's a running back, wide receiver. More. Somebody help me out. Bowden. I like him. I'm pretty intrigued by the Raiders' offense and the fact that they look a little different than they normally would build. So I'm kind of excited about that. I hated Mixon last year. I did too, Jake. Let's see. That makes AK, it might fall to you. AK might fall. There's a really, really good chance that Kamara could fall, but I also think that even though the community might pass on Kamara, the communities that are at 4 and 5, I think the expert might pass on Kamara at 4 or 5. The communities won't. That's my guess. I don't see how you could let Kamara fall past 4 or 5. Kamara's my locked and loaded number 4. I take Kamara before I take Mike Thomas. I take Ezekiel Elliott at 3 before I take anybody else. I'm going Barkley, McCaffrey, Elliott, Kamara pretty much every time. I like Mike Thomas a lot, but I feel super confident about the wide receiver pool in 2020. So much so that I'm fine not owning a guy people consider to be a top 2 or 3 wide receiver. I'm okay with the AJ Browns, the DK Metcalfs, the Hollywood Browns, the Debo Samuels. I'm okay with a lot of those guys. Give me 2 or 3 of the sophomore wide receivers, and I'll leave everybody else the top dogs, and I'll just scoop up the running backs that I like, the quarterback I like. I'd rather have AJ Brown and Mahomes than, um, you know, Godwin, Mike Thomas, and whatever quarterback you want. I'd rather have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and so if you give me like Zeke, Clyde, Mahomes in a redraft. So you take Clyde at the end of the second round. So Zeke Elliott, Clyde, Mahomes. I won't touch a wide receiver until round 4. I'm fine with that. I'll take DK. Oftentimes falls to 4. AJ Brown sometimes still there at 4. He's climbing to 3 now. Hollywood Brown and DK. I'll take those as my starting 2 wide receivers if you give me Clyde Edwards-Helaire or AJ Brown there. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Mahomes, and Elliott. I'll take Hollywood Brown and DK as my top 2 wide receivers. I don't care. I'll take that all day long. I feel comfortable with the other wide receivers in this 2020 wide receiver pool. They're looking good. Yeah, Kamara's not falling past 5. I don't think. We can't count on it. Can you imagine if we got Kamara? If we got Kamara, I'm urging my community to even more so. Context. I'm urging my community to go Mahomes. I think Mahomes and Kamara. I just think that's week in and week out, massive amounts of points. Single-handedly, these 2 guys could win us each week. But I'm on board with whatever you want. I'd even like Lamar there. Lamar's got so much more risk running 170 times a season. I don't know, but I'm okay with either quarterback. But I'm also okay with Watson or Kyler in round 5, round 6. I think they could fall. The problem isn't that I don't feel like Mahomes has the value. The problem is in a running back heavy league, I feel like whenever I do go Mahomes or Lamar early, Kyler or Watson has been falling to a pick that I'm like, damn it. When Mahomes and Lamar are not available and I get sniped, then Watson and Kyler aren't falling. It's not a case where Kyler and Watson fall every time, and then you go, might as well stop drafting Mahomes and Lamar early. It's always when I don't get Lamar and Mahomes that Watson and Kyler don't fall because people are drafting QBs higher. Clearly, by getting sniped, there's a pattern there about to develop where quarterbacks go early. So, in retrospect, you can always look back and go, damn, we should have waited and not taken Mahomes at 8, at 17, whatever pick. What do we have? What pick we have? We have 6. So, 2.7, is it? We could look back and go, damn, we could have got Godwin. Maybe we should have got Godwin and taken Kyler because Kyler's here at 5.6. Oh my God, we're going to be upset. I can see that, and that happens. That's happened to me this year. I'm an early QB advocate, but I'm also a very big advocate of waiting. Who had Mahomes in their top or number 1 overall bowl prediction in 2018? The man you're looking at here. Yes, I did miss some other stuff last year and the year before. I miss stuff all the time. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back as a guy that lands everything. But I obviously like the late QB strategy. I mean, Mahomes was my biggest breakout call I've ever had in my 16-year career in fantasy football. Patrick Mahomes was my number 1 biggest breakout bold prediction that I've ever had because he was not even a 10th round pick. And I wrote my prediction when he wasn't even the starter. Alex Smith was tearing it up at the end of 2017. And people said, Mahomes who? Alex Smith is a new man. Alex Smith was a top 4 quarterback through about half of his season. People forget this. especially if you didn't play fantasy football. It's not that long ago, but 2017, Alex Smith was a top 4 quarterback through half of a year. Does anybody remember that? And I wrote my bold prediction about October, or it was before Alex Smith was hurt or whatever happened that year. Yeah, Henderson was one that's busted so far, but there's an open door for Darrell Henderson this year. I'm not super pumped or confident that the Rams will treat him properly and give him the chance he deserves, but so I'm not super confident. I'm telling you, I don't trust that team with how they run their running back situation. I don't like Akers at all, partly because of that. But don't write Henderson off yet. And while I would never say invest a ton in Henderson because I don't trust the Rams, because of Akers and because of the Rams distrust that people have, guess who is like free? Darrell Henderson. So I do take stabs at Darrell Henderson because he's practically free. Alexander Madison, I rostered him all year waiting for Dalvin Cook's hamstring to fall off. Yeah, I mean, Dalvin Cook, Matthew, is going to be tough to get this year, though. Montgomery back on Montgomery. I don't trust Montgomery's situation much like I don't trust Darrell Henderson's. I love the talent. I think Darrell Henderson and Montgomery both have the talent to be a running back one in fantasy. I know a lot of people won't agree with me. They'll be like, give up on Henderson. I am, in a sense, giving up on Henderson unless he falls very cheap because I don't trust the Rams. Like, people twist up what I say. When I say don't go after Akers, people go, Smitty's still pumping up Henderson. Where am I talking about Henderson there? I'm talking about Henderson at the right value. But I don't trust the Rams, period. I don't like Nagy. I don't like that that Bears play calling situation. I don't like how they offensive line blocked for Montgomery. Montgomery was handed 19 carries or 21 carries here or there and did bad, and I'd get nothing but DMs going, okay, Smitty, are we ready to give up on Montgomery? He had 19 carries. No. I mean, yes and no. I'm ready to give up because I'm tired of the Bears misusing him. They don't know what they have. He's a tackle breaking machine. Getting 19 carries and not having good yards per carry, I'm not blaming that on Montgomery. I'm blaming that on situation because the dude is a tackle breaking machine, proven in college with tackle breaking records. I'm not buying that he failed to break tackles and find room to run. Not to mention, I used my own eyes to watch football last year, and he got horrible situational carries, even on those big 19 carry games or whatever. But where was I? Where was I even at? I think I was talking Mahomes. I was talking about all kinds of things, but okay, a few more minutes here, guys. Then I might go over to Twitch. We might be twitching soon. 3 years ago, the only thing I knew about Mahomes was that he talked like a Muppet. He still talks like a Muppet. And that's what I was talking about, and I got sidetracked. My bold prediction. So I said in 2017 he would be a top, 1 to 5 QB. That was well before he's even anointed the starter. So the point is, I love late quarterback shopping. And you won't get me telling you don't wait on a QB. You just will get me defending the early QB approach too. That was my point. Biggest whiff of yours last year was the question. James, my biggest whiff last year, and it's on me, regardless of whether I blame it on the coaching staff not seeing this, not seeing that. I need to take into account situation. I needed to know that Darrell Henderson wasn't going to get a fair shot. That's on me. And you can't separate situation from player. And I'd have to say, and no, N'Keal Harry was not my biggest bust. People say that all the time to me. And then I ask them, what did my prediction say? In 1 to 3 years, he would emerge. And as far as I know, he's only played 1 year and he didn't even really play. When he did play, he looked fantastic and showed flashes of what I've been talking about. How is N'Keal Harry? How are we ready to pull the plug on N'Keal Harry? Like that, I don't understand. Darrell Henderson, with. Do I still believe he's got a shot? Yeah. Do I think he'll for sure get it? Absolutely no. and that's why I only grab Henderson at very late value that has, zero risk involved. But I don't know that my Daryl Henderson predictions lost anyone leagues because this is a late grab, and yes, he started to creep up really high in ADP, but I was never a proponent of get him in the fourth or fifth round. It was, hey, when sixth, seventh round comes, take a stab. That's a win a league player, and I stand by those whiffs that you can get there because they don't always work out. The win a league player is there, like Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's a win a league player in round 6, 7. Now, could Chubb stay healthy all year long? He could. Is Stefanski going to share carries? I don't believe he's going to share them like people are trying to portray. Stefanski doesn't do that. When I hear, oh, but when Hunt came back, Smitty, uh, Chubb dropped off. I don't care. I don't care if Chubb dropped off here or there when Hunt came back. They brought Stefanski over. Everything has changed. He doesn't run two backs evenly. He gives the backup like Madison, like he did with Dalvin Cook and Madison. He gives the starter so much work that he has to use the backup a little bit in order to keep his starter healthy because he can't give all the work, which is funneled through the running game for Stefanski and a Stefanski built offense. It goes through the running game. Everything's funneled. The passing goes through the running game. The rushing goes through the running game. The water cooler, the halftime show, everything goes through the running game in Stefanski's mind. And that requires a good backup like Hunt, and Hunt will be serviceable. Hunt will have flex type value right out of the gate in 2020, but he's not going to unseat Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb could get hurt. Smitty, I know you like Mahomes, but what was Russ Bliss's take on Mahomes last year? I don't know. I think he probably was wait on a QB type. He's old school with that, and I respect that. And I'm on board with waiting on a QB too. Like I said, it's not something I always do. I'm the only defender of it. I feel like nobody in the industry, from an analyst perspective, will defend the early QB drafting. They just won't. They're afraid to or something because other people will say that. Don't you know that QBs can be had late? Like I don't care. I don't care if people don't like the stance. I'm going to continue to fight the fight. This is 16 years running. If you don't think I have the endurance for the fight every year, I tell you to reflect back. Look at my eyes. Reflect back on the 16 years of me having to defend this thing over and over and over again. Even when, and believe me, for a lot of you guys that didn't play fantasy football back, I mean, I've been an analyst for 16 years on CBS Sports Radio, NBC Sports Radio. For back in 2003, 4, like back when in the Kurt Warner days, in Kurt Warner's prime, and Dante Culpepper, these guys were first round picks. Like you guys are all complaining, not you specifically, but the people watching that are anti QB early. You're all complaining about 18 overall for Pat Mahomes, 19 overall for Lamar Jackson, when you don't know what it was like when Kurt Warner went number 1 overall because he scored Matthew 42 to 45 TDs. That was number 1 overall worthy. If you won your championship, you had Patrick Mahomes. Jake, you're a member. You're an exclusive member to the YouTube memberships that I have up. So I need to attack your problem. The problem last year with the Browns was the line. Odell Beckham Jr. should be better this year. I agree, Jake. And for those of you that aren't, excuse me, I need the burp. For those of you that aren't a part of the membership, YouTube memberships, it's not taking anything away. I'm adding bonus features to the people that subscribe to that. The private video should be here tomorrow for everybody that's in that. I produce one private video, like a training type thing, strategy. It's going to be probably not edited. It's just going to be a private video, me talking one-on-one to the private members. I'm doing one video a week extra for that. It's going to be something very, very training like and help you with like trading, with draft strategy. Let me tell you this strategy I love, whatever. And it's going to go just to the private group. And then I also have a membership where you can call into the show if you're a part of this membership. Or I call you, but essentially you're calling into the show whenever you want. When I'm live, you can call in at least once per live. I'm not going to let people call in all live. I got to keep the content flowing, but I will call you at least one time per live if you want, if you're a member of the top tier of the membership. So if you're on desktop, I don't know if they have it on mobile yet, but if you're on desktop, click the join button and it'll give you the 2-tier options that you can. And it's all done through YouTube, very secure. You can use PayPal even and pay YouTube, cancel anytime. But it gives you exclusive benefits and lets you become a part of the show. We already have a handful of call-in members, and Tony, who's the other one? I blanked out. God, I'm so tired. Who's the other call-in? It's not Little, is it? Little? I think it's Little. Yeah, Little. Yeah, Little. Tony's in the house. Tony's in the house. Tony is a call-in member. So anytime they command it, I can call them up. Right now, I don't have. I could probably pull it off, but right now I don't have. I'm on my phone, so and everything's dying. I've got nothing charged for tonight. But Tony, Tony, I can call you after if you really need something though too. If that works even better. Little's another one. Is the membership once a month or one-time payment? It's once a month, but you can cancel anytime. So if you want to be a part of a show during, dude, it's 3 a.m. here. Just woke up from a nap. Okay. If you want to be a part of, like, let's say it's August, you're like, I'm going to pay that monthly membership for 1 month in August so I can be a part of the shows and get my fantasy questions answered at the top of everybody else. You can pay 1 month and cancel for, October, November, and not do it in those months and just do it every August. But I have a feeling once you get hooked on that, you'll want to continue doing it. Nap at 2 a.m. No, Noah said, laughing at Tony's nap. But also look at Tony's got the emoji, the special character or specialized emoji for being a member. So he's got Is everybody else see that orange headphone emoji next to Tony's name? Let me know if you do. It lets me know that Tony's in the house too, which is really cool. But Tony is and as you become a member longer, what's up, Jake? When you become look at Jake using the emojis. When you're part of the membership program, you can have those special emojis. Jake, drop all the emojis for us so we can have them. And Tony, if you're in here too, drop all the emojis. You get access to those emojis. You get access to different things like so Jake right there next to Jake's name, he has that orange. Him and Tony too. They have that orange. Yeah, they're all the emojis. So we have to come up, Jake. We have to come up with a reason to use them. Tony's using regular emojis. No, Tony used the ones that are for the show. If anybody missed it, Tony added some amazing content to the show the other day when I was supposed to do a call-in with him. And there you go. I was supposed to do a call-in with Tony, and it kept going to his voicemail like 25 times in a row, which is fantastic comedy. So what I was going to say is Tony and Jake, once you guys become members for, I believe, the 3rd month, your icon changes to a different one and you get upgraded. So you can kind of tell who's been a member longer, because if you have the orange one, that means you've only been a member for 1 or 2 months in a row. If you've been a member, I think 3 to 4 months, you get a different color. So that orange little one will turn into, like, I think the black icon, or maybe the white one. I don't know. I forget. I'll have to look. Okay, so we talked about Jacobs, low floor, not any crazy high ceiling like top 1, but top 5, very safe player. My desktop internet all messed up. I'll probably look into some of your membership soon. Thank you, James. You'll like it. It's cool, man. ZK says Smitty Dynasty Superflex today. I traded for Zeke and Christian Kirk and gave up Fant, Juju, my 1.10 and my 2.1. Are those rookie picks, 2.1 and 110? If they're rookie picks, I imagine they are, because it's like a dynasty league. Then I don't know how you got that. How do you get Zeke for a 1.10, a 2.10, and Juju and Fant? Like Vito, Been following since sub 300 followers. At least I could do. Thank you, James. Thank you, James. And somebody was it? Who was it that I have to look at the conversation? I was going to give somebody something. Who gave up that for Zeke? So I don't know if you guys have seen on my Instagram, but we're voting on the best team pages on IG. Go to my stories and vote for that. Dr. Raj is in the running for the top Instagram San Francisco 49er page. I'm putting it on, so he's got a little home court advantage, but home field advantage. But I'm doing it for every single team page on IG, or every single team will find the best team page out there. So go vote on that. Also, get on over to my Discord, sleeperu.com/Discord. That's where we're going to debate the throne topic. I'm going to go live on YouTube probably for the first pick and on IG, don't worry. And we're going to talk about it. So Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, it kicks off. Now, we have pick 6, so I imagine we're going to draft at like 3 or 4 p.m. Or Eastern. It might be Eastern, 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern probably, or maybe 5 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a while. So I got the bad end of that trade then, yes, for the rookie draft. Oh, ZK, I thought you were getting that. Sorry. I would have been a little kinder. Yeah, man, I would not have done that. I would not. I imagine your league saying you got taken on that too, right? You can be honest. Um, Zeke's worth way more than that, bro. 1.10. Like, what are you gonna get there? You might get a Rager or something like that, maybe. And I don't know. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that at all. Juju's got value, but they're in a dynasty startup. He's like a third rounder. Fans, who knows how far back, and then you're 1.10. Think of it like this: next time ZK, no, I got Zeke. He said. So what are you talking about? Like you killed it. Like why on earth would we say that you got taken when you got Zeke, bro? Noah says Smitty confuses. I didn't confuse. He said that he got taken. I'm like, how'd you get taken? I explained that Zeke was the best. Noah. All right. Who wants to go to Twitch? I'm probably not going to do a whole hour, but who wants to go over to Twitch right now? I'm trying to build up my Twitch community. I need some followers over there. I need some views. Who's with me? Who's going to Twitch? Noah will do a mock draft on Twitch. James is coming. Shay's coming. Noah's coming over. Who's coming to Twitch? It's Twitch. Go to sleeperu.com/Twitch. It should bring you right to my Twitch page. So sleeperu.com/Twitch. I'm out on Twitch night, says Jake later. Jake Cat fan. Sleeperu.com/Twitch. James says, don't expect me to do the confirmation like last time. James, what did you do with the confirmation? Not tonight, heading upstairs and back to sleep. Go take your nap, Tony. Your 2 a.m. nap. Okay, I'm going to Twitch. Oh, James, you're pro. Okay. Why do you guys keep the same usernames? It's so confusing to me. I don't know who's who. I never remember. Tony putting up a TV emoji. Attaboy, Tony. Tony's showing off his emojis, his exclusive emojis for being a fantasy football show, the fantasy football show member on YouTube. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you. Go take your cat nap. Okay, we're going on over to Twitch. Sleeper U, the letter U like a university, sleeperu.com/Twitch. Go there now. I'm going live. We're going to do a mock draft. See you over there.